How come with that hustle? That's the you be known. I said I see that to the top Illuminati. I did not know this till last time this year until I died. Ain't nothing to me was a hit that died. And now I see this now the story will unwind. So let's get this. I said it in May I discovered that the family history that those that know chiseled into stone is sitting there at the top of section of the Illuminati. Whereas our family in the history position where we sit in the top ranking. Now, I didn't give a shit about any of that stuff, and I never paid attention to it. So I don't understand how, if my family have never even had taken any interest to this, how can we be explored and chiseled into their triangle and their infrastructure and their system? I want to know and ask you these questions about whatever is this Illuminati of curiosity. I want to read a whole, website on conspiracy theories and build up into knowledge of how exactly the Illuminati is supposed to work. And I looked at this and I was so shocked. I was like, I was disgusted. I wanted to cry. Now, see, when was it where you had like this to the left like this means that there's something happening, something going on. And it's why I wear the hat like this to the side. And when you wear the hat like this to the side like that, then it means like everything is good and there's no bother. Now see, you see this here hat, Her Royal Highness. Now this hat is special. Now you can't be buying these hats there on the high street. And this hat purposely just comes like this. You're wearing a hat like this. It means that, when you're wearing the hat like this, it means, you see how the hat's slightly twisted up to the side over there? Okay, now, that's like, on the purpose side here like this. See the hat slightly twisted into the side or whatever like this. And you're wearing the hat like this and like that. And when you see the hat, and it come like this, see? This means that we're standing back, we're moving, and we're checking this out. When we come forward and we put it down like this, it means we're taking it on. Now, so I'll put up my hat like this. I want to wear my hat like that, see? I find it more comfortable to be wearing up my hat like this, like this. To wear the hat like this. I find it more comfortable like this. But this, wearing it like this, means that something bad just happened. It means that today I just had a fight and there's something going on. Today, I had the trouble. And, I don't find it comfortable to wear the hat like this. But you should be wearing the hat like this. Like that. So, this is how you're wearing a hat, right? And, so, some people wear that hat or whatever, they don't like to wear like this. And they try bending up the people like this, wearing a hat like this. But I wear my hat like that. Wear that on tight. And that really meaning that there's people checking you out, Don't be wearing like your hat like this, you have to look like this, so, I went to this website and I read up on this bullshit on it because I was like, I know this is going to be bullshit, I'm going to be looking at this. I was like, I was expecting, expecting, like conspiracy and things. But when I read it, I was so surprised how much there was the bullshit, right? I was so surprised. I just couldn't believe how much there was bullshit. Now, it was so much bullshit. It's like it contradicted itself, and it spoke about like aliens and like, these kind of things that you can't be taking seriously. And I'm like, okay, so like, people actually believe in this, and like, people who are, on some kind of ride, they want to be, they want to be, they want to be following something they don't believe in. They want to be following something they don't believe in because, they think that this is going to be cool. This is going to make their life better. It's going to introduce them into the things. Now, I think, truthfully, in myself, we always taught is to always be good to people, and to be, deafen before dishonor. Like, it's like you shouldn't need any disrespect. You shouldn't need to fear or distrust. You should be always in there together, and you should be thinking, this is something you can rely on. But like if people will be disrespectful, then you can't work with these kind of people, and it doesn't get you anywhere. People talk about the whole consuming circle, what's good, and like for beginning or the end, alpha, omega, or Gaia, the start and finish. It's like when you finish, you should be starting like almost like where you begin again. And like, the consuming cycle, I suppose, in my opinion, does not mean licking ass. It's got nothing to do with that. It means like, what goes around comes around, and like, you get for what you reap. Where you walk is like, near the beginning. But see, all of this stuff or whatever, I was so surprised that in my history, okay, what we said here is they said like, like we're being chiseled into stone and expressed as if that we are some kind of monster, and like, we have like beliefs and like we want to slow the population and development. And I'm like, well, how could I even do that? How could I even slow something? I'm just like, no, how could I even have any impact on anything like that? Involved in my daily like life. And then when I look at this and whatever in my surroundings, and I'm like, how could I even be in some kind of Illuminati? I don't even believe in this stuff. And that whatever I'm seeing written here, that I am like right in there, like right at the top, and supposed to have an influence on those responsibilities. And I'm like, seriously, like this stuff is written to make you psych out and make you like, paranoid. And so I was like, what I want to do? I want to go and I want to take this whole scripture that they've written on Illuminati, and I want to check it out, and I want to go through each of the individual like groups where they say that there's about 60 different like groups with towers which explain Illuminati. I want to go through each of those groups and work out what the conspiracy theory is, why they've written this conspiracy theory to address certain people, to hurt a certain people, or to influence somebody to be involved in some kind of cliche. I actually go around about it and see actually who's really taking advantage of this, and to explain that this propaganda is about Illuminati is actually more harmful than what they're trying to describe as the Illuminati themselves. And what they're saying is about the Illuminati is basically describing a authority and upper hand which is able to take people out of poverty and actually interrupting that process by lying to people and confusing that their friends is, no good. And by doing that, that pushes them away from development. And it's a very clever system. And I swear to God that I had no idea about any of these expectations, these duties, and our supposed alleged involvement until I read that bullshit. And I tell you that I had nothing or any attachment to this kind of things. And I find it very insulting. And I was very upset to think that anybody could possibly think that I would be the kind of person who would hurt somebody in this world, because I'm a good person and all I care about is, love and charity and development, and I'm a very, very religious person, and I'm multicultural, and I have a feeling and connection for everything in this world, everything around the compass, and all I want is to see is, what people need, like to be accessible, to have everything, to be secure, and I'm a total anarchy towards the world. I'm a peace fighter, and I don't want anybody to ever associate my histories with the bad things, and everything's just completely mixed up. So we're going to go through some of these journeys that are going to be going on, and how do I know? I'll explain why I get involved in these situations. But we'll find out, and hopefully when I actually recover to find the information about the 60 different sectors of the Illuminati, and I do write the report, I'm telling you, we'll be updating, we'll be seeing exactly what kind of influence and factors we're going to be having on this, because I don't know how, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I have the insight to be doing this, and I don't know why, how I think I can explain this easily and save people from the stress on this situation. I believe I can do that. I can see it. And I want to write the report, and I promise to write the report for diplomats in different countries to rewrite the report and the breakdown on that structure of the 60 different sections of the Illuminati. One of those sectors being the Olympic 300, who intend to destroy development of science and medicine and separate the cultures in the world by falsifying modern day disputing on scriptural differences. Now, this is like, I just had enough formats. This is like, we're sure on that, but this is like, how are we gonna work this out?